I was scrolling and perusing through Twitter, and I noticed that there was a big controversy in the Danzana community about a character being blackwashed, as they call it. A character that was originally a Japanese character, predominantly looking like a white character, as most anime characters do, but going by Asian monikers because anime eyes make the eyes bigger. And then they said, oh, we're gonna make the character black. And a black artist do a black edit of the character. I believe it was a 16-year-old. And this caused this downpour of basically a clan meeting going on, essentially. And a lot of people have asked me to talk about this situation. And the reason I've avoided talking about the situation is because you're not going to like what I'm going to have to say. Because I'm not going to approach this from an either side stance. And that's going to agitate a lot of people. I'm going to give you how I feel about it by starting this off with a story. Did you know that I was stuck in Japan for 2 months? Probably didn't know that, did you? Old boy here was stuck in the old Rising Sun state. I was stuck there. It sucked. I was stuck in Saitama, Japan specifically, and I stayed with a man named Yukimura Sadai. Yukimura, every single day without fail, called me the N-word and said I was Chris Rock. Every day without fail. And for some reason, he thought Chris Rock was the donkey from Shrek. So I would do, Shrek, I like you. In the moment, I'm eating waffles. Every day for him. And he would enjoy it. He'd say, oh, this is so good, so good. And he'd touch my hair and he said, I wish I had an afro. Black people are so cool. Black is in fashion, so good. And he even permed his hair to get an afro. I met some people in Japan with dreads. And was I offended? No, I didn't care. They liked the culture of hip hop because it got big. Hip hop got huge. And Japanese people don't care about black. I just want to point this out. Majority, not all of them. There are Japanese people that do. Majority of Japanese people genuinely do not care about black people. They don't. It's not on their purview. It's not high on their list of things to care about. It's not. Just as the same way that a lot of cultures don't care about transgender or homosexual. They don't care. I'm bisexual. They don't care about me. They don't. Most cultures outside of America don't have the same progressive movement as America does. America has it really good, but there are people that hate it deeply because it doesn't represent core American values. Why am I telling you this? Why is that even important to this entire discussion? Because I know how Japanese people feel about black people for the most part. We are a commodity, an experience, a caricature, exotic, one might say. These are the terms that I was called while I was in Japan, by the way. I am an experience for women. They said they'd never date me. They just said that they would love to have an experience with me. That was very fun. Same on Jeju Island when I ate horse ribs. I ate horse ribs on Jeju Island with a man named Sungjin. Sungjin was a great man. His father was Gun. Gun Park? Great man. Loved Gun. Great guy. And then there was Daniel Kim. Daniel was cool. Loved Daniel Kim. Great guy. Hung out with all these people. But guess what? They didn't know anything about black culture. They knew about hip hop. The idea of it. Loving basketball, they called me. I was the loving basketball guy. Why am I explaining this? Black people, this is to you specifically. I want to speak to you as a person. Do you remember back in the day when you were playing Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi 3, and you were the best in your neighborhood? You were super excited. You were a megalodon in a goldfish tank. You were outstanding. And I love that. That was me. Super Smash Bros. Melee came out. I was the best in my whole neighborhood. Then I went online, and I realized that I wasn't even good. Not great. I wasn't even fair. I was garbage at the game. I played with items on. People don't play with items on. There were Foxes and Falcos and Captain Falcons. Amazing at the game. And I thought I was amazing. And it sucked when I realized how big the world was. It sucked. When you make something, anything, have an original thought, doesn't matter what it is, and it gets really popular. Like hip hop got popular. Oh, it got so popular. You want the world to witness it but not take it. You want to have your struggle that was given to us by the American culture, right? We were given hip-hop struggle. We were given that. We made hip-hop out of struggle. We made blues out of struggle, and then they took it from us. They started appropriating it. They started colonizing it, one might say. And that's an issue, right? That's an issue. It is. But it's not. And it's going to suck to hear that. Because if something gets popular, you can't cannibalize it. You're not allowed to. You may want to deeply. You may want to covet AAVE. You may want to stop people from saying the N-word deeply. But if it gets popular and big, people in China are going to say the N-word. People in Germany are going to think it means camaraderie and brotherhood because they don't know the history behind the word. You can explain it, but you have to approach the explanation without anger. And that's where the main core of this issue comes in. Now back to everybody. The issue isn't the fact that the characters are being race swapped. It really isn't. When you make a race swap of a character, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But when it's done in Retaliation, because a lot of these race swaps are not done with the guise of love. It is done in retaliation to something they don't want to be a part of. Let's take the Danzanon thing, for example. You see the picture. You see it. This was done with love because black people have very little representation in anime. They want to be a part of the culture, they want to be there, and they feel Danzanon has a lot of black inspiration. It does. It really does. However, what they don't like to do is explain things reasonably. A lot of people don't like to do that. They approach with anger, and they think because they are chastising somebody and calling them an idiot that will get them on their side. Not once have I seen an argument done without condescension in the tone. I have never seen a single argument done on the side of black people that was done without condescension. It is always, you gotta realize you're just a racist POS, right? You gotta realize that this is bad. You gotta realize that you are garbage for doing this. You gotta realize that I, as the black person, can never be racist, and you are wrong and I am right. You never go into a way of convincing somebody thinking that you are wrong and you're never going to see their side. Because now you're two children fighting against each other. It's just two children going back and forth against each other. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying, oh, I made this black edit. Well, I made a white edit of Nessa. That's right, from Pokemon. That's right. Actually, I made white Miles Morales. Not white Spider-Man, white Miles Morales. How do you feel about that? And it'll be some really good art. But it's done in retaliation. If it was done regularly out of love and care, and not out of retaliation, it might have even been good. Realistically, it might have been fantastic. And the issue isn't in the race swap in itself. It is the power disparity. That is what it is. It's always a history issue. Always going to be a history issue, because that's the only angle people will approach this under. I know if you're white and you're watching this, you may be thinking to yourself, well, why can't I do it? And that's a fair thought to have. Your feelings are valid. You want to have your race swap characters too. You want there to be a white Black Panther, right? Fair, understandable. I get you. There are white people in Africa. That's true. You want there to be white Goku, despite the fact that Goku is kind of white, but basically Asian, but really is Saiyan. And black people claim Goku. We made black Goku. Well, Goku's not black. And that's doing what we did back in the day. You're just taking what we did when we took your race. You're just taking what we did when we took your race and made white characters out of those people. It is not an issue of I'm doing it, now you're doing it. It's an issue of black people are really tired. I believe a lot of black people are just really exhausted. And that's okay. However, I approach things with patience, kindness, and understanding. And I'm always willing to hear everything out. And that's why I spoke to people. I spoke to hundreds of people before I made this video. I could have capitalized when this was blowing up and made the video immediately. Could have done that immediately, but I spoke to people first before I even decided to make this. On the black side, obviously it's an issue of, well, they used to whitewash characters and that's bad. And remember when they made characters more light-skinned so they'd be more appealing? Correct. I do remember. As a matter of fact, if you look at K-pop, K-pop is basically hip-hop, but with a guise of having a whiter savior on it. I do want to point something out before I continue. When I was in Korea, they thought I was dirty, covered in charcoal. There are skin whitening surgeries in Korea to make you whiter because they view whiteness as a sign of purity. The whiter your skin is, the less dirty you have to be. This was an issue in Parasite. If you've ever seen Parasite, the movie, it's a great movie, great Korean film. That was an issue throughout the entirety of the movie. The whiteness of the purity of what it is, plain white walls, and keeping it clean. Being able to keep that whiteness clean shows how wealthy you are and shows how nice you have it compared to others around you. However, imagine this. I'm black. How do you think I was treated in Korea? Oh, do you want plastic surgery to get rid of your blemishes? Oh, your nose is so big. You want to get that fixed? Oh, your hair is not silky smooth and short and nice. You want to look like a K-pop idol, don't you? And they didn't have a lot of deodorant. I don't know what it is about Korea and not having deodorant. I believe it's a gene called AABBCC that they don't need deodorant. It's a whole thing. I don't want to get into genealogy behind it. You can Google it. It's a whole messy thing where they don't need deodorant. Their body odor just doesn't produce that deeply. It's a whole gene only Koreans have. Very nuts. I didn't know that was a thing until I went to Korea. Very nuts. They view whiteness as a sign of purity. The world at large likes, let me rephrase that, loves black people, but they don't like them. Being black is in fashion. It's cool. Hip hop, school, basketball is one of the highest paying things. A lot of football players are black. Performative nature of black people in this day and age is huge, and it gets a lot of black people paid. A lot of rappers nowadays don't even have true hood backgrounds. They're culture vultures. They're not gangsters. They're not. They're really not. I believe Ice Cube didn't even grow up in that dangerous, or 50 Cent, was it? One of the two. 50 Cent or Ice Cube didn't grow up. I believe 50 Cent did actually grow up that way. I believe it was Ice Cube was the one that didn't grow up that way. But there are a lot of people that don't know about the hip-hop culture. There's a part of the culture without actually being a part of the culture, if you know what I mean. Because it gets deadly and dangerous because it's built and bore upon the struggle and destruction of the entirety of America. It's disgusting. Now, am I a person that thinks that the victor should give to the losers? No, I don't think that way. Because I'm not American. I'm Egyptian and my dad's Barbadian. I don't think that way. I grew up in a different way than most people. I think if I win, I don't owe anybody anything. That's how I feel. And a lot of black people nowadays feel like they're owed something out of this world because they are tired of having their art, their work, hip hop, blues, rock and roll stolen from them and turned and rebranded into something else. Elvis Presley was famous for stealing, very famous for taking from other artists. Drake is famous for getting people into OVO and then proceeding to take songs from them, and they're just happy they got a big artist featuring behind them. But Party Next Door, The Weeknd, he stole a lot of their songs. It's messy. It's disgusting. But that's business, baby. And that's green privilege, something I'll talk about later in another video. So with blackwashing, we got some black characters. Mirako, right? We got Mirako from My Hero Academia. You guys mirror Mirako? I mirror Mirako. Mirako has no black features. She's just lighter skinned in the black variety. She's black light skinned. No black features. She's just dark and we got excited. Piccolo. Technically, the Saiyans are a lot more black than Piccolo. White dictator, turn to apes. We're called apes. Whole thing. But Piccolo is the character we align with the most. Knuckles the Echidna. Black. Just black off virtue. Just a black guy. Characters like those we attach ourselves to because we don't have that representation. Now we're seeing a lot of black edits. And they are done with the intention of love. It is. It's done with the intention of love, not to discriminate or hate, such as whitewashing was done. Whitewashing was done to make it more appealing to a wider audience. Blackwashing is done out of love. However, a lot of people don't see that, and that's okay. Because all they see is the end result. You know, I make a video. I don't edit a lot of these. You guys can probably tell. I keep in every mess up. I do one take. No scripts, none of that variety. I don't. Because nobody cares about the process of making a video. No one cares about that. I don't care about it in any capacity. That's why I've learned to talk without having any interruptions or breaks or too long of pauses, so I don't have to go through the entire video and re-edit everything. I've learned how to do that. People don't care about the history of things. People don't care about the nuance behind anything. People care about the end result. Not many people are willing to have a conversation about this without it devolving into a screaming fit between two children. Because when you make a black edit of a character, and then somebody retaliates with a white edit of a character, now that is tossing dung at each other. Because now you're going to make another black edit, and they're going to make another white edit, until we go through the entire list. And then it's just two people fighting back and forth without ever understanding each other's sides. The white person feels as though, why are you making a black edit of the character and I can't make a white edit, huh? Why can't I do it too? Because I don't want to be excluded. The black characters, the black person says, well, I am nowhere in this media and I would love to be represented because there's there's little to any representation of us at all. Well, you have this character, you got Black Panther, you got Static Shock, you got them, use them. Yeah, but wouldn't it be cool if there was a black version of this character? Well, wouldn't it be cool if there's a white version of your black character? It's always done in retaliation. And I can understand there actually are some labors of love done to it. And sometimes some black people, those rare exceptions, take it so far, and now everybody thinks that one bad apple is responsible for the entire bunch, right? White people, I'm sure you've experienced this before, one bad cop, right? Remember that? One bad white guy ruined it for all the Kyles, right? One bad Karen ruined it for every Karen. One bad black person ruined it for every black person. Now, we're thugs, and then you say racist slurs to us, just evil racist things. And I've been called my fair share of slurs. Believe you me, I've been called a lot of things in my life. I have. But there's nuance to everything. There's always a middle ground to be met with this. But with this devolving into rage bait and people farming for engagement and not caring about the voices of people that do these things, well, guess what? You're not going to get that nuance. You're not going to get somebody to take a step back and look at both sides objectively. You're not going to get that. I'm trying to do that. I really am. I really am. And I understand both sides. Really, I do. And guess what? Neither of you are right. It is disgusting, stupid, ignorant, childish, and selfish on both fronts. Black people, my people, we didn't invent everything, right? I want to point this out. We didn't invent everything. And even if we did invent it, it can be taken and made better upon. I'm not saying to be destroyed and repurposed, such as them taking do-rags and calling them silk wave caps. That's stupid. That was dumb. It's a do-rag, obviously. Obviously. But I'm saying that if I made fried chicken, black people, we made fried chicken. Let's say that. Let's say we made fried chicken. Boom. Korean fried chicken is pretty good. They got that from black people. They got that from black people. Okay. It's still good. It doesn't change the fact that it's good. That people are understanding. It doesn't change the aspect of it being good. It's still a good thing. Well, we made macaroni and cheese. Okay. Other people can try the recipe. Well, we made hip hop. Okay. Other people can rap. Nope, it doesn't feel right. I don't know, those mayo monkeys. I don't like it. Okay, you're fighting racism with more racism. You're fighting hate with hate. Yeah, because we can't sit and stay oppressed and let them walk all over us. I agree. You cannot sit and stay oppressed and we'll let them walk all over you. But aren't you a Christian? Are you not a Christian? I'm not a Christian, but I know one of the Christian values is if one would slap me on my right cheek, I would turn the other and let them slap that. Well, that's letting people walk all over you. I will stay kind my entire life until I break and I break and I break. I will stay kind. No matter what happens to me, I don't care. You are not being kind. And the people that are hateful are not being kind either. And that's okay. That's fine. So now it's two children fighting fire with fire, burning the whole world down and taking everybody else along with them until you're looking at your pile of ashes. You're looking around at your pile of ashes and wondering where the forest went. Well, did we just have a forest? Where's the forest? All right, it's gone, isn't it? You don't get to have that. There is no forest. There's nothing. Because now you're fighting hate with hate and you're continuing it on, going forward and forward and forward. And now because you approach with hate, the other person's going to retaliate and hate. And it's just hate, beginning a negative infinite feedback loop of disgust throughout two parties who refuse to see each other eye to eye because they're poking each other in the eye, making an eye for an eye, making the whole world blind. It's disgusting and I hate it. I hate it. It is stupid. Obviously, if you make a black edit of a character, some one-off white guy is going to make a white edit of another character of a black person. And obviously you're going to get mad. This was always done in Retaliation. Yeah, obviously. Obviously, because the world is bigger than what you think. Remember playing Smash Bros. And you thought you were the best in the neighborhood? Well, now the world can see you play the game. And you realize that you're not good at the game, are you? The world is watching you. The world is witnessing you. And you're on a world stage. And the world stage is laughing at all of us. It's disgusting. Black people are being made a mockery. White people are majority in America. And now it's causing black people to hate white people, so it's more hate. And now you're hating white unborn babies that don't exist yet on the idea that they are white. And you're hating interracial relationships, and you're hating the idea of growing humanity because you refuse to accept the fact that we are all the same. Before you were black, before you were white, before you were Asian, before you were German, you are human, you idiot. Guess what? Did you know that? You probably didn't. Probably didn't even consider or think about it, did you? Not once. But they don't view me as human. Correct. They don't. And they deserve nothing as well. And they suck as well. Then I gotta fight back. No, you don't. If someone hits you, you don't hit them back. That's not correct. If someone yells at you, you do not yell back. That is not correct. That is what a child does. You are an adult. You're a grown man, a grown woman, a grown person is what you are. And you are acting like a feverish little child. This isn't just the black people, by the way. This is the white people too. This is to you too as well. This isn't race specific. This is everyone specific that is causing the rage bait to continue in this negative, perpetual, infinite feedback loop of disgust that I hate seeing over and over again, because it garners engagement and it farms because it's wasting your time and it's siphoning your life clock. The only currency that advertisers care about is time. And you are wasting it all arguing about a worthless, nonsensical issue that can be fixed and mitigated with a fun, reasonable conversation. Do you not get hungry? I'm sure you get hungry. I'm so positive that you get hungry and your stomach rumbles and you're scared. And you don't know if you're going to eat the next day. We've all been poor. We've all been broke. White people don't think they have privilege. And they don't realize that privilege isn't intrinsically, oh, my life's going to be easy, I'm going to get so much money because I'm white. That's not white privilege. White privilege is the idea of Chinese privilege as well. If you go to China and they talk bad about you in Chinese, they have Chinese privilege. You go to Japan, they talk bad about you in Japanese, they have Japanese privilege. I meet a black person in a club, we will have an intrinsic struggle, we will have a handshake, I have black privilege. You guys have white privilege by virtue of being white in America. Understand that, and that's okay. That is okay. It doesn't mean you get an intrinsic advantage and abundance of opportunities. You just get an absence of obstacles that every other race gets. That's all that happens. And that perpetuates white hate deeply. And I hate that. I hate that too. You see, I hate that for you guys because it shouldn't be a thing. I think we should all be viewed as equals. I really do. I want this so bad. And some psychopath is going to comment on this aggressively long video that I'm making and say, well, you got the right concept, but the wrong execution. See, what you should do is shut up, is what you should do. I'd appreciate that if you stop typing that comment right now that you think you're typing, that you're not going to get that far in the video. You're going to type anyways because you're an idiot and didn't make it that far. You're not just watching on 2x speed. You can just do that. It's so much easier. I hate this. Blackwashing is not an issue. It is not. It is done with care and the intention of love. However, the road to hell is obviously paved with good intentions, and most people don't see the good intentions behind that because we want representation in our favorite characters. I love seeing the black edits, seeing Goku with a grill and chains. I love seeing that a caricature upon a caricature. It is amazing to witness. I love seeing that. And people are hating on it because by virtue of, well, this just looks stupid. I hate black people. I hate the way this does. I'm pretty sure you don't hate black people. You just know that if you were to do it that way, that they will retaliate in an angry way. I'm sure you don't. And if you do hate black people, then join a cult and drink some punch. You don't deserve to be here. Period. I just want people to view people as people, and we are never going to get that with these petty, worthless, disgusting, ignorant, selfish, vitriolic, childish arguments. If you have any thoughts about anything I've said, you're more than welcome to comment them down below. I am going to make a grilled cheese sandwich where I put cream cheese on it. If you've never had that, it's really good. I hope you have a lovely day. These are my thoughts and feelings. I didn't do a lot of research besides speaking to 100 people. I am just here to speak and voice my opinion. I use this as a diary so I can know my thoughts and feelings. Thank you and good night.